Thank you, Program Director, Colonel Kolani Bekeni, South African Defense Advisor, the guest of honor, Ambassador Eli Kamwije Kafero, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in absentia, High Commissioners and Ambassadors, heads of international organizations, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Captain of Industries, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinguished honor and pleasure to welcome you to the 31st anniversary of freedom and democracy of the Republic of South Africa. Let me at the onset take this opportunity to also thank you so profoundly for having taken your time to come and grace this occasion. We know, as a matter of fact, that you obviously would have had number of occasions and commitments that you're supposed to attend to, but you chose to come and celebrate with us. We don't take that for granted. In similar vein, it will be a remiss of me if I don't pause and acknowledge in a special way our corporate partners who have graciously supported this event, without whom this event could have not been a resounding success as it is. Thank you, South Africa Inc. here in Uganda. Thank you so much. I am talking here about MTN Uganda, Multi-Choice, Itua Uganda, I&M Bank, Stanbic, ABSA, Sanlam, Liberty Life, and of course, how can we forget the Sheraton Kampala, who had always been our host. Let me also, like the program director, pause here and command you to lower your banners in remembrance of the Dean of African Literature, the novelist and activist Ngugi wa Thiong'o. And I ask you once again to observe a moment of silence. Thank you. South Africa celebrates Freedom Month in April to mark the country's transition from oppressive apartheid regime to a free democratic country, and in commemoration of the first democratic elections that gave birth to the constitutional democracy. This year's freedom celebration is themed under the following slogan: United in Resilience for the Defense of our Freedom and Democracy. This theme has been aptly chosen amidst the growing mis- and disinformation that has been leveled against the Republic of South Africa under the falsehoods of unimaginable proportion dubbed white genocide in South Africa. The white genocide claim began as a fringe theory that gained traction through coordination of misinformation campaign. It has been used by right-wing influencers and media outlets to suggest that the South African government is systematically exterminating white farmers through violent means and state-sanctioned land grabs. This claim has no basis, in fact, as it has been discredited not only by South Africa, but all around the world. South Africa Police Service data and reports from South African human rights, reports from Africa Check, the BBC Reality, CNN, France 24 observers have all verified that there's a rate of crime and violence in South Africa. But this does not fit the definition, an international legal definition of genocide as per the United Nations Convention on Genocide. At the dawn of democracy, South Africa's society was deeply divided, yes, along social, political, economic, and social lines. The country was isolated from the global community and excluded from almost all progressive multilateral institutions and international agenda. The new democratic government inherited a society with gross inequality across every aspect of our life. The very fabric of our country had been torn apart by apartheid policies, which had systematically excluded blacks to the fringes of the society. We therefore continue to safeguard the freedoms that so many fought for, including this misinformation about so-called white genocide. Freedom Day to us is not separable from the Pan-Africanist narrative, as Africa Day commemorates the founding of the OAU and now the African Union. As a way of deepening democracy and governance, South Africa in 2024 held the general elections, the outcome of which was that there was no outright winner. The South African populace, in their wisdom, they decided that all political parties that contested the elections should work together in a form of government of national unity that brings together all, I am saying all, including the strong Afrikaner nationalist party, the Freedom Front Plus. The government of national unity has prioritized driving inclusive growth and job creation, reducing poverty, building a capable, ethical, and development state. The far-reaching reforms that have been undertaken by the sixth administration under His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa have yielded progressive improvements in the lives of our own citizens. This year, South Africa will once again play host to the world as we assume the presidency of the G20. G20 brings together the global South and global North under one roof. South Africa's G20 presidency takes place when the world is facing a series of overlapping and mutual reinforcing crises, including climate change, underdevelopment, inequality, poverty, hunger, unemployment, technological changes, and geopolitical instability. To tackle the global polycrisis, South Africa has embraced the theme solidarity, equality, sustainability for its G20 presidency. It is with this, the spirit of Ubuntu, that South Africa approaches its G20 presidency. The African philosophy that emphasizes that you are because I am. Bilateral relations with Uganda. Uganda to South Africa is a strategic partner within the East and the Great Lakes region. The two countries' relations are coordinated and managed through a bilateral mechanism called the Joint Commission for Cooperation, which was entered into in 2012. Since then, we have held high-level sessions. One in 2015, and the second in 2022. And over the years of our relations since 1994, the two governments have exchanged a number of high-level visits. All South African presidents have been to Uganda. President Museveni has been to South Africa several times. The last one being February 2023, where he was supported by a large contingent of business people who went to South Africa to explore business opportunities. Thus, extending the trade volumes between the two countries. That state visit, which was momentous, was followed by a business summit of over 40 South African business people who came later in September of that year, where our industries, South Africa Inc., here in Uganda, played a pivotal role. I hear talk about MTN Uganda, AXA, Stanley, and all members of the South African Inc. under the auspices of FOSAP, the South African Forum of South African Business here in Uganda. The outcome of that engagement at that level resulted in a number of agreements and memoranda of understanding to further deepen the relationship of South Africa and Uganda at both political and economic level. Just yesterday, South Africa participated in a high-level oversight summit on peace and security for the DRC and the Great Lakes region here in Entebbe, which further underscored South Africa's symbolical relations with Uganda in all manner of relations, including peace and security in the region and on the continent. South Africa and Uganda are joined on the hip. In that regard, we are like Siamese twins. I thank you. You are hereby invited. Our program director is a man in uniform, so you are commanded to proceed to the podium. To the health and prosperity of the two countries and long life of His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Thank you so much, Ambassador. The podium is yours.
Your Excellency, Sonia Sakura, the Judge Affairs of South Africa, to Uganda. Your Excellencies, the High Commissioner and Heads of International Organizations, the Dean of the African Diplomatic Corps in absentia, the Member of Parliament from Uganda present, and members of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uganda present. Citizens of South Africa here present, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to you all. I wish to extend the apologies first of all of Honorable General J. Odong Abubakar, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uganda, who was supposed to be present over this celebration this evening, but he could not be present. Due to unavoidable circumstances, he was not able to join me today. However, he asked me to represent and also to extend his greetings and best wishes to you all on this very important occasion. I will therefore now proceed to read the statement. But before I read my statement, I want to join His Excellency Sephora in recognizing and in requesting that we take 1 minute of silence to remember the distinguished African writer, Thionga, who passed on today. I will now read the statement of my minister. It is an honor and pleasure to join you today as we gather to commemorate Freedom Day, a day of profound significance not only for the Republic of South Africa, but also for the entire African continent. On behalf of the government and the people of the Republic of Uganda, and on my own behalf, I extend heartfelt congratulations to the government and people of South Africa on this special occasion. Freedom Day marks the historic date when South Africa held its first democratic elections, ushering in a new era of freedom under the leadership of the late President Nelson Mandela, a global icon of resistance, reconciliation, and respect for human rights. This day ushered in a new constitutional order rooted in human rights, unity, and reconciliation, and is a representation of triumph over apartheid. It was a statement to the world that despite decades of institutionalized oppression, a nation can rise, unite, and move forward with determination, dignity, and vision. This year's theme, United in Resistance for the Defense of our Freedom and Democracy, serves as an important reminder to us of these vital principles we should carry with us every day. It speaks to the enduring spirit of the South African people who, through adversity and triumph, have remained steadfast in their commitment to democratic values. It reminds us of the sacrifices made to attain freedom, honoring those who champion freedom, human rights, and democracy. For all of us on the African continent, this is a message that must resonate with us all, that our collective resilience is vital in safeguarding our hard-won freedom. At this juncture, I wish to join you all in paying glowing tribute to the leaders and people of South Africa across the divide, past and present, dead or alive, who made sacrifices to enable this momentous day come to light. We recognize their sacrifices, which have laid a firm foundation for the South Africa that we see today, a country of immense value to the continent and to the world, the entire world. Excellency and distinguished guests, for many who may not be aware, Uganda shared with the people of South Africa the road to freedom. I personally feel proud to have been part of this effort, while I was deeply involved in the South African freedom fighters who were based in Uganda during the last years of apartheid. Uganda, together with many frontline states in Southern Africa, supported an apartheid struggle because of a sense of solidarity as well as the inspiration that the freedom fighters offered in other parts of Africa. Uganda takes great pride in its historic solidarity with the people of South Africa during the liberation struggle. Our relationship is not one merely forged through diplomacy, but through shared values, shared sacrifices, and a common vision for an Africa that is united, prosperous, and free. We celebrate today not as outsiders, but as brothers and sisters in a shared African journey toward liberation and self-determination. Today, as we honor the past, we must also look at the future. This commemoration is not only a time for reflection, but a moment to recommit ourselves to the enduring principles of democracy, inclusiveness, and social justice. South Africa's journey since 1994, though not without its challenges, is a statement to resilience, institutional building, and democratic progress. Let us this day remind us all that freedom is not a destination, but a continuous process and a daily commitment to justice, inclusion, and good governance. It is a reminder that we must unite to fight against all forms of injustice, discrimination, and inequality, whether political, economic, or social, wherever they exist. As Africans, we must try to build a society where every citizen feels seen, heard, and valued, where our shared heritage is a source of strength and pride, and where Africa speaks with one voice in shaping its destiny on the global stage. Excellencies, distinguished guests, let me once again congratulate the people of South Africa on this momentous occasion. May your journey of freedom and transformation continue to inspire generations across Africa and beyond. And may I now call my brother, Excellency Sabora, so that we can have a toast. For the long life of President, His Excellency President Ramaphosa of South Africa. I thank you all.
Thank you, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. At this juncture, we are cutting the cake in a celebratory, as a form of celebratory mood for our freedom and democracy.
Too